Hello and welcome to our conversation with the National Competitiveness Commission, hereby represented by Mr. Douglas Muzimba, as we talk about an index that they developed, of course, by the National Competitiveness Commission to assess or to rank local authorities in terms of service delivery. This index is called the Rural and Urban Councils Competitiveness Index, RUCCI. And in previous conversations, we spoke about RUCCI's alignment with Vision 2030, RUCCI's alignment with NDS1, and we also spoke about data analyzation. We also spoke about common traits that are within local authorities, as well as how the index would incentivize the local authorities that would have been found to be doing well as according to the index. In today's conversation, we start with a very key question. And my key question to you, Mr. Mzimba, is how can the competitiveness index inform central government policy on devolution and local governance?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. The first thing is that the index in itself, it clearly highlights evidence-based findings emanating from the people within a particular local authority. It highlights common areas that need to be addressed by the government. So it is coming from the people. It's not an NCC thing. What we did, we just developed the model. But what is feeding into that model is coming from the people. And that's the decentralization or devolution that we are talking about. And maybe as a hint, maybe from the survey that we did around issues to do with the devolution funds, I think the residents, including the local authorities, they raised concerns with respect to the late disbursement of those devolution funds, and in some cases they are not disbursed in the full amounts. And we have already raised this to the central government so that they look into those issues. So this index, it can, like I had already alluded to, it can inform central government policy by revealing which local governance structures and policies are also effective in fostering economic competitiveness, thus helping governments design and implement better devolution strategies. So, like I said, it's coming from the people, which means RUCCI can identify and now promote best practices. It can identify and promote best practices by the central government itself in respect to allocation of devolution and decentralization of funds, thereby ensuring that it can address regional disparities and at the same time increase investment and ultimately strengthen local government capacity.
Okay. Quite interesting, really. And I'm only wondering about ways in which local authorities can use their index results to improve service delivery and attract investment.
Yeah, the index is a data-driven index. It's a data-driven index coming from the residents. And since it is coming from the residents, they will be pinpointing areas of weaknesses, areas of strength, opportunities within local authorities. And once these weaknesses are identified in areas like infrastructure, governance, and even economic conditions, These can then be addressed this can then be addressed to both save current residents and even make the local authority more appealing to investors. And the local authorities, they can also use the RUCCI results to improve on their service delivery, to focus on areas even like capacity building. We were talking about the local governments, the issues of non-publication of financial statements. Maybe there is a need for capacity building. Once RUCCI have identified that, then it is now incumbent upon a particular local authority to initiate which action to take. And the good thing is RUCCI, it also comes with the recommendation, council specific recommendations. After getting data from the residents of a particular authority, we try to also come up with the council specific recommendations to say, if you are going to improve competitiveness as a local authority, if you are going to improve competitiveness as a Mutare City Council, for example, because that's where I come from, what is it that Mutare City Council need to do? So it also comes with council specific recommendations. But obviously these recommendations, they won't be cast in stone. They are just recommendations, but at the end, we believe that once fully implemented, it can move the local authority from somewhere to somewhere in terms of service delivery and enhancement of competitiveness.
Thank you for that. We are talking here about RUCCI. If you are listening to us, thank you very much. We appreciate you. This is a conversation we are having with Mr. Douglas Muzimba, hereby representing the National Competitiveness Commission, as we are talking about an index developed by the Commission to assess or rank local authorities in terms of service delivery. That is the index that we are calling RUCCI, because the full name is a Rural and Urban Councils Competitiveness Index. And, among topical global issues in the world right now is the issue of climate change. And I'm thinking, in the context of climate change, did the index assess the environmental sustainability and resilience planning of the councils? Is this a component of competitiveness for the future?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And I think it's good we are together, and you rightly pointed it out that is among the global topical issues. And if issues of sustainability and climate change are not adequately addressed, then we fear we might be left behind as a country. There is now talk about the reduction of carbon footprints, even in the production process, so that even the food that is consumed, the world has gone to the extent of wanting to know the amount of carbon footprints. So if we don't play ball in terms of mitigating these environmental issues, we fear we might be left behind. And now to come directly to your question, yeah, we are alive to those issues.
Great.
And you cannot talk of competitiveness and leave out sustainability issues. What is not sustainable is not competitive, and what is not competitive is not sustainable. So the issues of green competitiveness, we are much alive to that, and it's enshrined in RUCCI, and it's enshrined in RUCCI, and under RUCCI we have a pillar called resilience, which assesses the council's preparedness for disaster and availability of skills. Does the council have enough budgets for disaster preparedness and management? Because the climate change, it might come with the disasters, and we would want to know how adequately the local authority is prepared. Then we have a sub-pillar on green budgeting, which seeks to assess the extent to which local authorities are prioritizing environmental sustainability and contribution to the achievement of the country's nationally determined contributions, known as NDC 3.0 for 2025 to 2035. So nationally determined contributions, we are looking at a set of climate action goals that include commitment to an economy-wide 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 relative to business as usual scenario. So we are alive to that, and we have indicators that assesses local authority in terms of that, so that local authorities, they are able to sustain their economic activity over time. So in summary, we are saying a council that cannot manage sustainability issues, a council that cannot manage climate risks, becomes structurally uncompetitive, irregardless of service delivery performance.
Well, I will tell you that my takeaway from this conversation would be Mr. Douglas Muzimba saying what is not competitive is not sustainable, and what is not sustainable is not competitive. Mr. Muzimba, sir, as we are rounding up, maybe this would be my second from last question. We need also to put into consideration, like you rightfully said earlier, citizens and local communities within a particular council. And in that regard, I'm thinking, how can citizens and local communities engage with or benefit from this index?
Yeah, they will definitely benefit from this index, because once they have pointed out maybe areas of improvement within their local authorities, then we accordingly inform the relevant local authority so that they act accordingly, and at the end service delivery will improve. And also let me highlight that this RUCCI, it will be in the public domain, the Rural and Urban Council's Competitiveness Report. It will be in the public domain, and citizens, they will be able to see how their councils compares nationally. So poor performance, it can no longer be hidden under any excuse. And this now motivates the local authorities to perform. And in the process of performing, then service delivery can be improved for the benefit of the citizens and the local communities. And the RUCCI, it comes with the ranking. So if a local authority is ranked last, maybe year in, year out, it also comes with the reputational pressure. It also comes with the reputational pressure for the political and administrative leaders. And that way, I think they can get incentivized to improve on service delivery. Then it translating into better roads, water, waste management, and even public spaces, and even faster response to service delivery. So this RUCCI, what it intends to do is to empower citizens to demand better governance, shape local authorities' priorities, and benefit from improved services, jobs, and quality of life.
And finally, what is your vision for how the Rural and Urban Council's Competitiveness Index will shape Zimbabwe's journey towards inclusive and sustainable development?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And like I indicated earlier on, that this was the first phase, the pilot, and we are in the process of fully developing now. And like I indicated earlier on, that we are actually thinking of including a sixth pillar on waste management and smartness in the 2026 RUCCI survey, emanating from what His Excellency the President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa indicated on 15 December 2025 on the need to reward councils performing well in waste management and environmental sustainability and smartness. And RUCCI, it is just the starting point for ranking local authorities within local authorities. So it's a domestic index. But going forward, our long-term goal is to have our cities being ranked with the other cities outside the country. So competitiveness is about comparison and benchmarking. Sometimes you need to benchmark with regional